Hello and welcome to Prudent IAS, one-stop solution for all the competitive exams. We are back again with another interesting video. Today our topic will be from General Studies, Paper 1, Section History. Like all our previous videos, the approach for this video will be the same. We'll take up one topic, give you some content about that topic, do some discussion, then we'll phrase a model question and as well as give you a model sample answer, where I'll be pointing out all the do's and don'ts of answer writing. Most of you must already be aware which question we are going to tackle today, but all those who have not yet joined our Telegram group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS, do join it today, because there we send all these questions a day prior. How it helps you? There you can send us your answers, do some peer-to-peer interaction, you can access others' answers as well. Also, we'll be evaluating one answer daily, of course at no cost. So let's come to the topic for the day. Socio-religious reform movements, the architects of modern India. This is one of the most important topics, and of course you need to learn about these on the humanitarian level as well, because in 19th century the society was driven with a lot of caste inequalities, superstition and other inhuman practices which were not in line with the humanitarian values. So these reform movements, these reformers, they made certain contributions which ultimately helped in reforming as well as reviving the society, which were the two movements, reform and revival movements, and then gave us the society in which we are living today, which is a much better society than the 19th century society. So let's start with the topic. Colonial India's 19th century witnessed the rise of powerful reform movements which challenged the entrenched social inequalities as well as the outdated customs. Visionaries like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand, Jyotirao Phule led these transformative efforts. Now there are certain names, certain movements which must be on your tips. Their work laid foundations for modern Indian society. So we'll be discussing about their contributions in the upcoming slides. Now there are two ways of writing about the contributions. First, what you can do is just write about the parameters, and then inside under it you can write about the movements, or you can choose to write about the movement and then give the contribution. This will be according to the demand of the question. We'll be discussing both. So the key reform and contributions. The first parameter is the women's right. Brahmo Samaj and Arya Samaj fought against sati and child marriage. They advocated for widow remarriage as well as women's dignity. In the education, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar and the Ramakrishna Mission championed women education. They established schools as well as colleges throughout India. Caste inequality. The Satya Shodhak Samaj confronted caste discrimination. They promoted equal rights and opportunities for all the Indians. Scientific thinking. The Theosophical Society and the Singh Sabha movements spread rationalism. So if we are talking about these topics today, it might seem common to you, right? Everyone is championing about the human rights, but in those times, in the 19th century, when the people were raising voices against these cultural inequalities, it created spur in the society. So they encouraged critical examination of traditions. Religion was so deep rooted that even questioning the religion, the practices, was very difficult. But they not even started these movements but also succeeded. So next, as I was telling, the major socio-religious reform movements and their contributions. Here how we'll be studying? We'll be studying first, we'll be mentioning about the movement, and then we'll be discussing about the contribution. So these were the two ways. In the earlier we did the opposite one. So the Brahmo Samaj, Raja Ram Mohan Roy movement planted seeds of rational thinking in 1828. What it did was it challenged the orthodox practices, promoted Western education, created platform for intellectual discourse. So how you are supposed to just grasp the content, just take away from the content. You will be reading about Brahmo Samaj in depth in all the books, right? 3-4 chapters or maybe 3-4 pages in the lengthy books. Just note down the key points in these ways. For example, the movement, the main pioneer, the year, and the key contributions. In similar manner, we'll be studying all the other as well. Next, coming up to the Arya Samaj. So, one belonged to the reform movement and the other to the revivalist. Swami Dayanand's movement of 1875 sparked nationalist fervor through Vedic revival. Now, there was a very thin difference. See, both reformist and revivalist movements wanted to just get back to the purity of the religion which was lost, but it was the degree to which they wanted to go back to the religion was important. The reformist wanted to reform, it wanted to purify the religion, do not ultimately leap back to that religion or the tradition. But in the revival movement, they wanted to call back that practice or religion. It promoted cultural pride. The Shuddhi, infamous Shuddhi movement strengthened the Hindu identity, inspired future freedom fighters. So they did not wanted to incorporate Western education or the other parameters. What they wanted to do was they wanted to just purify the religion, the practices, and then leap back to the original one, which they found very pure. This was the revival, and Brahmo Samaj was the reformist. Spiritual movements. Now, Vivekananda's practical Vedant and Annie Besant's theosophy, it united Indians. It instilled self-confidence. It revived their interest in the indigenous culture. So when people were leaning towards the Western education, the Western culture, they aimed that, okay, indigenous culture too has a lot of depth and pride, connected spirituality with national identity. Next up, Aligarh movement, led by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He bridged the religious divides through educational reforms, the very famous educational reforms of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Founded the Aligarh Muslim University in 1875, promoted scientific thinking among Muslims, advocated Hindu-Muslim cooperation. Dalit movements, so we are covering all the movements, all the aspects, all the sides, not just focusing on any particular religion or particular movement. This is what you are also supposed to write in the exams. Pioneering leaders challenged centuries-old caste discrimination. Jyotiba Phule established schools for untouchables. Now, three major names in the Dalit movements is Jyotiba Phule, Periyar, as well as Ambedkar. Periyar's famous self-respect movement empowered the marginalized communities, as well as Ambedkar's activism led to the constitutional safeguards for the Dalits. Now, what was their role in national awakening? So there were some common outcomes of these, which were national consciousness. It united the India's diverse society through shared reform goals. They had certain goals which were common to all. Cultural pride, they renewed the appreciation for Indians' rich heritage and traditions. Educational revolution, created modern institutions fostering an educated middle class. Through education, again the middle class came to know about the rich cultural heritage and traditions of India, and they stepped away from the Western education and the Western culture, and they started diving deep into the Indian culture and Indian rich heritage. Anti-colonial foundation inspired the nationalist leader like Dayanand Saraswati and Gokhale. So these were certain common parameters which come under national awakening. Next up we have the lasting impact of India's reform pioneers. Now, I am discussing about the role, impact, the role in the national awakening, all the topics. So, if any of the topic is in the question, you can write under these. The content is almost the same, the way of presentation is a bit different. So, under the impact of India's reform pioneers, what will you write? They dismantled oppression, reform movements dismantled outdated customs, and paved the way for nationalist ideologies to take root. Next up, inspired the leaders, rational thinking championed by reformers, influenced visionary leaders like Gandhi as well as Nehru. Women empowerment, early reforms in widow remarriage and education enabled women to participate in nation building. I am also focusing on the structure. You can even use this flow chart or timeline structure as well in the answer. Cultural Renaissance, the revival of the ancient knowledge, fostered pride and confidence in the Indian identity. Democratic foundations, the reformers emphasized on equality, laid the groundwork for India's constitutional democracy. So these points come under impact of these pioneers. Now, what is the legacy of reform movements? So, how we can connect with these today? What was the legacy? Social justice. Pioneered equality movements that continue in modern India, even today. Unified identity, created foundations for Indian nationalism across diverse communities. Independence catalyst, again, it fueled the broader freedom movement through societal awakening and continuing influence. Ideas embedded in India's constitution and modern social movements. So, I have read it out only because there is not much in explanation part, but you can see that the content is almost the same, but we have presented it in 3 different ways under different headings. So this is what you need to explore in answer writing. Choose your words wisely and write in very precise and concise manner. So the most important part of our video is the model question for the day. Discuss the role of socio-religious reform movements in shaping modern Indian society during the 19th and early 20th centuries. How did these movements contribute to the national awakening? It is a 15 mark, that is a long answer, 250 words. The question is giving you 2 dimensions, asking about 2 dimensions. First, the role, which needs to be addressed clearly under one heading, and the other is the contribution to the national awakening, which we have already discussed. So you need to address both the points, both the dimensions equally using equal word limit. The directive word here is discuss and how. So you are going to tell about the what and why of the contribution to the national awakening. In discussion, what you are going to do is you are covering all the sides of the topic and giving in brief explanation about the topic, that is the role. So what I want you to do now is just pause this video, write and answer yourself, how it can help you. You can do some self-evaluation when we'll be discussing the answer in the upcoming slides, or you can send us your answers in our group Answer Writing by Prudent IAS on Telegram as well. Let's come to the answer, the model answer for the day. Always start your answer with, you must be aware, right? Introduction, of course. You are not supposed to write these structural headings. These are only and only for your understanding. You will start from here. You won't write introduction. Skip these headings. The socio-religious reform movements of the 19th and early 20th century were instrumental in transforming Indian society. The basic insights about the topic. They were influenced by Western education, rationalism, and humanistic ideals. These movements aims to eradicate social evils, reform religious practices, and instill a sense of national consciousness. So since it's a 15 marker question, we have kept the introduction a bit lengthy. In a 10 marker, what you would do is you would just write one line, that would suffice. So we have started on a positive note. We have given some insights about the topic as well as given the importance of the topic. In the body of the answer, you will give a major heading. This heading needs to be as per the question demand. It needs to be in the language of question. I have already pointed out, but for those who are new and watching this video for the first time, while writing the headings, what you need to do, either you can write it in capital letters, block letters. If you choose to write it in small letters, just underline it, or you can draw a box over it. Make sure the heading is highlighted. This will help in understanding that, okay, you have addressed the demand. Without even reading the points, one can easily see that, okay, you have got the hold of the demand. So major contributions, you will start by using subheadings and alphanumeric digits. You will number the points either by using 1, 2, 3 or ABC. Brahmo Samaj, founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, 1828. So this was written in a one paragraph while discussing. How can you just concise it? You can just write it in braces. Founded by Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and briefly mentioning the year as well. Now again, see, if you can recall all the movements, then what you can do is you can just write 1, 2, 3 and so on, all the movement names along with the year of formation as well as the pioneers, and write at least 1 point under. But if you cannot recall all the movements, then what you can do is choose 2 or 3 and write in-depth explanation. But you need to fulfill the word limit criteria. So here, opposed idol worship, caste discrimination, and sati. See how crisp and concise the sentences. You do not even need to write full sentences, just the major key points. Advocated for women rights, including women remarriage and education. Laid the foundation for rationalism in Indian society. We are not using complete sentences, yet we are giving complete meanings. Arya Samaj, founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, 1875, advocated Vedic supremacy and opposed social evils like untouchability and child marriage. We have already covered these points in the content part, so I'm just reading it out. Focus more here on the structural part. How the language is being used, how concise and precise way we are just framing that content over here. Promoted Shuddhi, that is reconversion and self-reliance. Inspired nationalist ideas influencing leaders like Lala Lajpat Rai. So, we are mentioning names, we are mentioning dates, we are mentioning subject-specific key terminology as well. For example, the Vedic supremacy, the key points, and they are foundation for rationalism, the Shuddhi movements. These are all areas which are going to fetch you marks. If you write in simple language and omit all these key terms, key points, then you won't get good marks. Next up, Ramakrishna Mission, founded by Swami Vivekanand, and the year of formation, focused on practical Vedanta, spiritual nationalism. I have given you a comprehensive model answer. You can just concise it a bit. You can merge these points, skip certain points, or you can rephrase it in your own manner. Do not go for rectification. Just understand how you need to write it. Sometimes we use complete sentences, but when we have a lot of content and it is all packed with information, we just need to write in these points. Theosophical Society, led by Annie Besant, revived interest in India's ancient philosophy and culture, played a role in the Indian Home Rule movement. Just the key points, precisely mentioned. Aligarh movement, led by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, advocated modern education, established AMU, fostering scientific and rational thought. Then the Dalit movements, led by Phule, Periyar and Ambedkar, fought against caste discrimination, untouchability, advocated equal rights as well as education for the lower caste. So we have addressed the first dimension in depth using ample word limit. Now we will be coming to the second dimension, which is the impact on national awakening. Again, while addressing the second dimension, you need to mention a heading. So there are 2 dimensions, you need to write 2 separate headings. 1 dimension, then all points can be written under 1 dimension. Often the 15-marker question consists of 2 or 3 dimensions. So mention to always highlight these headings. In the similar manner, either you can use heading, subheading, bullet points. I feel this is a much bit easier. The space is also used efficiently. In flowcharts, sometimes the flowcharts can be congested. These arrows are sometimes not straight. For example, people might draw like these, then these. The alignment is also shifted. So that's all up to you. You can use flowcharts, you can use other structure as well, but you can go for subheadings, heading and bullet structure. But always number your points. The first step is social reforms and nationalism. These movements created awareness against the oppressive customs, paving the way for progressive society that could support a nationalist movement. So now, what is the difference? In the previous one, the first dimension, we have written just the keywords, the focused on the like played a role in the Indian Home Rule movement. We have not used the complete sentences, just the main points. But here, since we do not have a lot of facts, but this is more on a theoretical side, we will use complete sentences for a fulfill a meaning. Modern education and enlightenment, they emphasized rationalism, which influenced future leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. So wherever possible, you can incorporate certain names. Wherever not, you can omit them, but phrase complete sentences so the meaning is clear. Women empowerment, reforms in the widow remarriage, education and women rights laid the foundation for general equality. So you are not just writing about the impact, but you need to relate it with national awakening. So these reforms, what they did, they laid the foundation for gender equality. Always link the concepts. Do not merely describe the concepts. Religious and cultural renaissance, revival of ancient knowledge, what it did. Now, these movements revived the ancient knowledge under revivalism. So, how it helped in national awakening? It helped in fostering national pride. Always link with the demand. Do not merely describe. Next, the last part of the question is the most important part, conclusion. Students often skip these conclusion because they have already used the word limit. There is no enough space left, but always write a summarizing line. If you have less words, less space, at least write one line, but always sum up your answer. Here, how we are summarizing the answer. The socio-religious reform movements were not only social in nature, but also deeply political, as they helped in developing a sense of national identity. By challenging orthodoxy, promoting equality, and emphasizing self-reliance, these movements laid the intellectual groundwork for the Indian freedom struggle. We have addressed and summed up both the dimensions. We have given the importance, the national awakening part. Precisely, we have summed up and used key terms, simple language, yet summarizing tone. The tone is ending on a positive note. So always try to end your answer on a positive note. If there are a lot of criticisms, then a balanced note is fine, but avoid writing on a negative note. So this is it for today. I hope you liked this video. Now you can also join our Telegram group, Answer Writing by Prudent IAS. The link of this Telegram group will be given in the description box below. We'll be coming up with another video very soon. Thanks for watching.